We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. So the thing is with this live stream app, sometimes it takes a second to register that people are coming into the chat. So just wait a second.
Is that coffee?
Yes. Yes.
Does it at least have? Is it warm or is it?
It's I got it earlier today. Listen, this is crazy. I got coffee here. I got a little bit of liquor, and then I got a Gatorade just to fill it all out.
Things, yeah. Electrolytes, caffeine, and alcohol.
You know what I mean? You got uppers, you got downers, you got the whole thing. All right, guys, listen, the live stream just started. They're coming in here. Boogie Push. I see you, my G. I see you. I see you. Dapper Romeo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, guys, we're going to give about 5 minutes to let people get into the live stream. You know what I'm saying? I didn't plan this live stream, but I was talking with my brother and was just like, yo, let's just hop on the sticks real quick and let's just have a clear and consistent conversation. And so you guys know, I was just in Miami not too long ago. The man that you see to the right, am I pointing the right way? And what the person that you see over there, that's my man's right there. If you could introduce yourself real quick, my G.
Yeah, how y'all doing, man? It's Sean, living in Philly, man. Been knowing this guy John for times, my guy, my brother. So thought it'd be good to have a conversation and support his channel.
Word. Listen, so like Sean and I go, it's been like a decade, bro. It's been like a decade. Yeah, it's been like a decade. So listen, we got stories for days. Like when you guys see, like I'm on trips and shit like that. Like, you know, I was in Thailand a couple of years ago, when I was in Berlin and Barcelona, when I was in Miami. You know what I'm saying? The last 2 weeks ago, Seattle. Yeah, we go all Mexico. Like we go wherever. You know what I'm saying? So like it's a you know, it's one of those types of friendships. So a lot of the things that like I talk about on the channel, you know what I'm saying, it's like things that I would talk about with him. So I feel like we're about to have a very clear and coherent conversation. But let me just get back into the chat real quick. Yeah, what up, Everett? I see you. James, what up? Got the do-rag on like he trying to get waves. What you
ain't got no waves. Ain't got no waves, man.
What you know? Listen, hold up. I got that good grade of hair. Sean, you got that real bad shit. It's all good. Hurricane, what's up? I mean, Harrison, what's up, my G? Jordan, yo, what's up, MTR? Went and got that Oz box. Sean, tell him about that Oz box. That's
a key. That's a key. That's a key drink. That's a key drink, man. Don't put us up on some shit.
Listen, in my last live stream, I had a question like, yo, what's a good type of liquor to have like in the crib at the ready? And Sean, I think you was actually with me.
Oh, we there. I mean, like I said, we was at your graduation.
Yeah, it was at my graduation from my MBA program, and my uncle came down, and my uncle did he was in the army stationed off in Germany, and he came across this German liquor, and Sean was actually in my crib when my uncle came through and was like talking about the liquor and shit. So we had the first shots of it together. It's my favorite liquor by far. And then like Sean, when we was just in Berlin, what was the liquor of choice, bro?
Asbach.
Yeah, Asbach. Old Uncle Ozzy. Prost. That's how you cheers in German. You say Prost and you look them in the eye. If you don't look in the eye, if you look anywhere else while you're cheersing, you get like 7 years of bad luck or some shit like that. Let me just go back into the chat. Listen, guys, we're gonna give it like 4 more minutes, and we're gonna get into the discussion. Let people come in. I know I didn't plan this. I kind of just threw it up there. So we'll let people come in. Yo, what's good, Miles? How are you, my G? How are you? Boogie, Boogie back in there. Let me see what we got. Solo TV, keep grinding, my dude. $5 super chat. Let's get it. I need those photography tips. Yo, Solo, my bangs with you, my bro. Yo, also Solo.
Yes. And this dude picked up the camera, and we can't even take regular photos no more. This dude is critiquing the photos. We get in the group stuff. He snatched my camera out of my hand.
Listen,
won't let me. Yo, it's serious. Don't gas him, Solo.
Listen. No, Solo, gas me, please. No, I'm joking with you. Listen, man. I'm gonna do an entire video on that shit. Like the amount of volume that now comes in because either they want to do a video or take photos. Like it's interesting. I'm gonna start for like my for my Patreon supporters. There's some photos that I'm gonna put on just for the Patreon supporters, just so they can understand the gravity of the situation. so you guys are
somebody develop.
Say what, bro?
I said it's crazy. Like the photography thing is crazy because you picked up a skill and you literally like developed it over time. Like this dude wasn't taking photos, before. Like this is something that has been picked up recently. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and I talk about that on the channel. It's just like if you want to do something, like you could, it's within your wheelhouse. It's within your power. Is if you just make the time, energy, and effort in order to do it. Like like for me and you, Sean, like we understand that we vibe on that level. You know what I'm saying? But it's a theme that I like to reign true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, listen, we got some more chats coming in, guys. Listen, we got I'll do like 2-3 more minutes, and then we're gonna start the discussion. The reason why I have Sean up here, I think that is very important. And actually, when we was in Miami, I wanted to have this conversation with you, bro. Actually, we did have the conversation for like a little bit. And when we was having it, I was like, yo, we got to do this for the camera. But, we got busy and shit. But, I was raised by a single father. You were raised by a single mother. So I wanted to have this conversation to talk about the differences of the two and get into more in depth about our experiences. I think it'd be great conversation for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I'll start in a couple more minutes. Y'all drink it straight up, huh? If you got any more drinks, let me know because I'm building this up. Listen, Jordan, we're gonna get into it. Like I don't know, Sean, if you want to share any other drinks that you think is important for the people to know about.
Osbach.
Ozzy.
There's nothing. I mean, you know what? I'll take something way back in the day I haven't done in a long time that I respect. The Captain Morgan private stock.
Private stock?
Okay. Captain Morgan private stock is not a bad drink to I haven't had that in shit like 15 years.
Yeah.
But no, it was my freshman year of college I had it. And that was actually a good drink. We stole it.
Yeah, the private stock. I don't think I've had the private stock. Usually, like it's for me, if like it's just like a whatever Friday, Saturday night. Like I either look at I either look at Crown or Jack. Usually, it's one of the two. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Wait, hold up. We got some super chats that just came in. Chris, what's good, my G? My man MTR. No question today. Just want to show love and support for the channel. Thank you, Chris. One time for the one time. Much love for Miami. Chris, we was just down in your city, bro. Both of us, actually.
Love it.
Down there. Appreciate the $5 super chat, bro. Appreciate you. Sarah, what's good, mommy? Yeah, this is going to be a good topic. All right, I think we got enough people in here. It's been 10 minutes. J Doe, what's good, up? That's my internet uncle right there.
I believe it.
Word. All right. Moscato and 1800. Oh, 1800. Yeah.
Oh, he's bringing out that old school.
Yeah. He bringing out that old school. But you always gotta have. So I feel like the Moscato was a given, right? Like, cause if she doesn't drink light or dark, you know what I'm saying? She will. Oh, and she drinks liquor. She will always drink Moscato. Like the white, like I'm not gonna drink it. I might drink it. There's nothing else left.
You drink a little bit of. You drink a little bit. You drink.
Nah, I mean it depends. If there's nothing else to choose from, you know what I'm saying? All right. So listen. So let's just start the conversation. So again, Sean, Thank you for joining, bro. The reason why I wanted to have this conversation again is I think it's so important to be able to talk about, the differences, because, we see so many examples of, people who look like us that absorb information from this world really different. And I think a lot of that difference is predicated on their upbringing, right, bro? So, as I talked about before, I was raised by a single father, and I think that's had a particular impact on my life. I mean, my pops.
Yeah.
You was raised by a single mother. I think that's had a particular impact on your life, and I know your mom's, right? So I just wanted to have this conversation about that. All right. So from your experience, bro, you know what I'm saying? If you could talk about what you feel are some of the main differences being a black man being raised by a strong black mother.
Yeah. Now I think when I think about like just single parenting, I think that it's a difference. Like number one, I want to make sure that we separate and we understand that it's not a monolithic group just because you say you're a single parent, right? There's single parents who are independent and strong. There's single parents who are strong but needy. There's single parents who are weak, needy, and whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that there's some caveats between all those groups.
Right.
My mother, no gas, like she's strong, independent. You know what I mean? And I would say probably one of the main things that she taught into me or instilled into me was true independence. Like I think that some of it almost comes to a fault um, where it's believing in yourself and not needing someone else to validate you. That's something that was always taught to me by her. And so I always stood on my own too, right? Like you'll never hear me saying I need a woman so she can cook for me, because at the end of the day, I'm cooking for myself. I don't need you to cook for me. I don't need that from you.
Right.
And the same thing with my mother. Like I saw her live in real life that same type of mindset, right? I don't need no dude to take care of me. I got my own job. I got my own career. I'll take care of my kids by myself. It's not like I had my father died. It's not like I had like a tragedy where it's, parents are beefed out and they divorced or something like that, or my father wasn't around.
Right.
But I never saw my mother like searching for that individual to help complete her. She took on the role as the leader of the family. We also had her aunt, which would be my great aunt, which is almost like a grandmother. Me, my sister, and her. My mother took care of everyone. You know what I mean? So I saw that for all the years of my life. My father died when I was 8. So at least 10 years. I mean, 10 years and beyond. I've never seen her depend on anyone. So I think that that's something that was instilled in me. And then secondly, she's a firecracker. I'll be honest with you. She's a firecracker. And so one of the things that she also taught me, and that I think that like changes my mindset, is to always compete. Always compete. She put me in school, in a school, around white people, and she always wanted it to be known like nobody's better than you. You know what I mean? Nobody's better than you, and you always got to compete. And so with that mentality, I think one of the biggest things that I probably say is the difference between me and somebody else is like, I'm going to keep shaking the tree until I get what I want. Once I focus on what I want, I'm going to keep on getting it, no matter how many times I get knocked down, no matter how many times I get told no, no matter how many times it doesn't go the way I want it to go. I'm shaking it until I get what I want. I don't know. You tell me. You know me well enough, so.
Yeah, no. So I'm gonna address those 2 points here in a second. Let me just say, J Doe, thank you for the $2 super chat, bro. Just came to show love. You know me, I'm about to hit it. Yo, go and tear Charlotte up. All right, go tear Charlotte up. All right, and then Boogie with the $2 super chat. Always like your broadcast, bro. Hey, I appreciate you. Listen, oh yeah, just real quick, I appreciate the love and the support. As you guys always know, I say it, I'm taking the funds and I invested in the channel because we focus over on quality over here. Hashtag progress over perfection. Now, I'm gonna throw up a comment on the screen real quick because it's something that you did refer to, Sean, and it was, it's saying, she's a strong one. Your mom's a strong, independent woman, and you referenced that she allowed you to be, or she taught you independence, as well as she taught you the ability and the power of being able to compete. I think those were the two main points. And just knowing you are independent as hell. Sometimes it's to a fault, you motherfucker. But you're independent as hell. You know what I'm saying? And you do compete. Like a side note, and actually talking about this on the last live stream, Sean and I fought in Miami. We fought. We had a good old wrestling match. Right. We're not gonna talk about who is the victor because it don't matter. But it's just something that pros do from time to time. You know what I'm saying? I had to make sure, he was coming at me. And I'm just like, wait, hold up. I need to posture up, you motherfucker. So anyway, so real quick, so that's a side. So you talk about these 2 points, bro, but then like, okay, but here's the mantra that you hear nowadays, and it's something that within the red pill community, you hear it talked about, and it's like the negative impact of a single mother on the mind of a young man. And you talk about very unique qualities that you were able to be instilled with that I think has formed who you are today, right? As a strong dude. Talk about what that is. Like, from your perspective, what's the gap?
What do you mean?
Like, so your mother was able to do that within you, right? Is it a case of just mothers not having the knowledge that she had, or is it a case of you were kind of biologically set to be competitive, or you were biologically set to be independent? You know what I'm saying? Because the mantra today is like, man, you can't raise a woman cannot raise a boy.
Yeah.
So what is that? Like, I just want to hear from your perspective, like the difference of like your upbringing versus kind of what the information that we're passed with today. Because I mean, I'm looking at, I got this in the chat right here. There's no such thing as a strong, independent woman. And it's just different perspectives as to the negatives of a woman raising a boy. So I just want to hear if you have a perspective on that.
I think a little bit goes down to experience, right? So I think often, my mother's experience is different. She comes from the deep South. Like, we were just, you look at the pictures, like we're talking about the sticks of Georgia.
Right.
And she grew up with 10 brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? So she's dealing with all boys, and when we're talking about the boys, we're talking about boys. We're not talking about wearing glasses. We're talking about what we're talking. I don't know if we say the N word on here, but it kind of has that.
You can say whatever you want, bro.
Okay, so it's niggas. You know what I mean? Like getting into shit just constantly, and then there's the other angle where you have all the women and like the Southern belles, and I think it's an interesting mix, right? So I think there's a part of her that they grew up in the South, which is typically going to be a little bit more poor. You're going to be a little bit more below the poverty line or whatever. You're going to see some edge. You're going to see you're going to see you're going to be exposed to just how men can be, per se, if that makes sense. And you're kind of down in a lower level. And I think that she worked her way up and kind of jumped a couple classes, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's really, really what is some of the difference. I think oftentimes a lot of people don't transition between those levels. They become single mothers and they kind of stay with where they're at, and they stay within their comfort zone. as opposed to exploring the different avenues. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we grew up around several different. Is that crying? Can you hear the crying in the
Yeah, is
background?
that Tori?
Yeah, that's Tori acting an ass. But
Yeah,
let me
bro.
go close. But you know, I think that that's really the biggest thing. Is at the end of the day, is that she had the exposure to see different classes and different levels of life, and because of that, she's going to have more perspective, and she's going to understand what it's like to fail or see not, you know, to see people not get success, or see people not crawl out and say, no, you don't want to do that because X, Y, and Z. You love your uncle, you love, you know what I'm saying? You see how they are,
Yeah.
you know, you love them, and that's fine. But is that what you want for yourself? And being able to kind of have that firsthand experience to see, you know, hood and failure and blah, 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 blah,
Right.
and saying, okay, well, I know there's a different way to get out of that. Like, I've seen somebody climb out the hood and make it to this level.
Right.
So I think that's probably my main difference, maybe, is that I've seen her transition. Yeah.
Got it. So it's experience based.
Yeah.
You know, and I agree with that as well, because you know, I mean, so it's like crazy. I was actually thinking about doing a video of this, but I had a situation today where I was about to go to the gym and I was getting on the bus. And it was a family. It was a girl, a boy. The girl was probably like 10, 11, 12. The boy was probably like 5, 6. And it's an interracial family. So the mother was white and the father was black. At least I'm assuming that the black father was the father, but it looked more real to me that the white mother was the mother of those kids. And they get onto the bus and they're like looking for their bus passes, and it ended up being $2. So then the mother goes to the daughter. I'm like right behind her. Mother goes to the daughter, where's your money? Where's like your dollars or something like that? And the daughter was like looking through her things and she couldn't find it. And the young boy was sitting there looking at the daughter. And then the mother got frustrated and angry and slapped the shit out of the daughter. Slapped the shit out of her. And I'm standing there looking at her, and I look at who I think is the pops, and he's not even looking at the situation. He saw or heard what happened, but
take himself out.
Say it again.
I say he knew what was going on. He's trying to remove himself from out of that position.
Exactly. He's trying to remove himself out of the position. And I mean, and the level of slap, and it wasn't like a spanking on the ass or something like that. It was like it was a slap here, but she popped her like exquisitely hard. Let's just say it like that. So like I'm like looking at the situation like, oh, what the fuck? So I paid a bus pass. So the girl walked to the back of the bus, and of course she's like crying and like snot, and she takes her hand off her eye, and her eye is welted. And yeah, bro. And I go to the back of the bus, and it's like it's taken everything within me not to say anything. Because it's one of those situations where you want to speak up, but if you speak up, you're putting yourself in a situation, and it could be, domestic violence situations is some of the most dangerous that you can get yourself involved with from a third party scenario. So there was a portion of the bus that of the time on the bus, it's a quick bus ride to get downtown. But I was behind them for the beginning of it, and then I moved up to the front. When I moved up to the front, I was now facing the daughter, and I'm looking at the daughter, and dog, it hurt my fucking heart, bro. I looked at her, and she was looking directly at me. Her tears were pouring down, and it's almost as if she was saying to me, "Help me." Like where her eyes. She's probably like 10, 11 years old or something like that. She was, and it brought me back to a situation. So like to get back in, I guess, to the original topic of the video, my parents, they got divorced when I was probably like 7-ish, right? So like 7, 8, like somewhere around there. But you gotta think of like you know, I say often that my pops raised me, but like my cognition didn't start to about 4, right? So that's only like 4 years in the household when my mom is present. But during that time, I remember like my pops has never laid a hand on me, bro. You know that, I've told you that before. He's never laid a hand on me. And my goal, like whenever I have children, if it happens, my goal is to never lay a hand on my kids. Because I was very cognizant as a young child. And the one thing that I remember about my childhood, which, you know, affects me today, is the amount of physical shit that my mother used to do. And it's impacted me today, even today. So I say that to say, when I looked into that young girl's eyes, I was remembering myself in that similar situations, getting popped for frivolous shit. Frivolous shit. So I say that all to say, and also too, the father, who at least I thought was a father, I mean, he was just a black guy that was walking around with them, was ignoring the conversation. And I know that like when I was behind him, like there was someone in the back of the bus kind of making noise, and the black father looked behind and started like laughing at the person who was making noise behind. So it's like, yo, you don't even understand the gravity of the situation. Like y'all are fucking her up. Y'all are fucking her up. So just in that situation, I chose not to say anything, but it really fucking impacted me. As I was on the way to gym, I had to take a second to like think about it for a second. But I say all of that to say, bro, I know I go around from time to time in conversation. I say all that to say that I think that that family is ill experienced. That family is ill experienced, and who's feeling the brunt of that? The daughter, which was visible to me at that fucking time, and then of course the son later on. You know what I'm saying? And you know, notwithstanding black, white, purple, whatever, there's still an experience thing there that I think that you touched on before that I think is very important, that we have to enter into the conversation, because there's black men out there who are raising black boys to not be conductive members of society.
Great. Yo, I just want to touch on I don't know what this guy's name was. Is it Phineas? Yo, actually, he might be right, because you know what? The one person my mom always talks about,
yeah,
it's about to be some country shit, is her pa. That's her grandfather, pa. And out of all her family members, that's who she talks about. And then they always say my oldest uncle living right now, which is my Uncle Joe, who's kind of like straight up dude. You met his grandson Terrence.
Yeah. I know Terrence. We were just talking about Terrence last night.
Yeah. So you know, he could be right. There may be a point to it. All I'm saying is, when I look at my mom, I think one of the things is that I think she did gravitate more to the boys, now that I think about it.
Well, yeah, she probably gravitated more, but then like she also knew that probably the best way to raise a boy is to get influence from the males like around her. You know what I mean? Let me just get back into the comments real quick. I think people take this too literally. I guarantee you he grew up or had a strong male figure in his life, uncle, cousin, close family friend. So it was just you and your moms, bro?
There was nobody. Like all my family, like once we left New York, like it was no one. We were by ourselves. Like I wish I want to say that, and maybe like my cousin, my cousins from you. I told you about my cousins with my story in Cancun where I embarrassed myself, but you know, my cousins, they were in LA. You know what I'm saying? But I
don't remember the story. I don't know if you want to tell the story.
So,
you want to tell it? I don't remember.
And like I think that at the end of the day, to that person's point, I think I of course desired male, like I didn't need female attention because it was all female. So yeah, I'm gravitating to male, but there was nobody that I'll be like, yo, that was a mentor, but I didn't learn about the mentor process till I started working. That's real talk. I like people, I think with my independence when I grew up, like it used to be a clash with adult men because they'd be like, they'd treat me like a grown-up versus like he's a kid. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. Like they didn't want to mentor me. They looked at me as damn near, I mean, I won't go all the way to say an equal, but like it was like my football coach. Like I did dumb shit, but I was a good student, great football player. And you think normally a coach would say, all right, this kid's got potential. He's making some bad decisions. Let me help him. But it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, fuck him. Like he's done. He ain't shit. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about an honor roll student. You know what I mean? That just does some knucklehead shit from time to time.
Right.
So I can't agree with that. That I can't agree with. I did desire, like I always wanted to be around older dudes and stuff like that, 100%. But to say that somebody was constantly in my life to give me or shape my life, nah, I can't. I don't agree with that.
Let me ask you a question too. Do you feel like, you know, all the time that you spent with your mom, do you feel like, so like, let me give you like, so here's where, and I don't know if your anecdotal experience is the norm, but like Sean is probably the most unemotional dude that I know. Like he's just flat, right? And it's hilarious when you see it because he just doesn't care, right? Like so do you but you were raised by a single mother, right? So like, do you think that's just a component of your genetics, is just to be
like
emotionless, or was that taught by your mom?
She's like that. She's emotionless. Like I wish I could have recorded. I wish I could have recorded just even her interaction with her brothers. It's funny. Like she's very, very nonchalant. And you can kind of say like there's some parts where like her independence or strongness, like I look back and kind of like do self-reflection. Me and my little sister talk about it a lot. It's like shit, we say some stuff. You know what I'm saying? We say stuff with a straight face, and they'll be like, it's like basically like the words we just said. It's just like you just took a knife and was like,
right. Word.
You're bleeding. Why are you holding your chest?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
that's real.
So I think that is something that I picked up that I'm trying to work on. But I also think potentially like the passing of my father, you know what I mean? Like he passed like damn on Christmas Eve right by the Christmas tree. You know what I mean? And I never really seeing death that young, you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of just weirdly have this weird attachment to people where it's kind of like yeah, that attachment can be gone at any moment. Like think about, I'm a social dude. Like I know mad people, but it's tough because that you know, I've experienced where that bond, that connection can just be gone at a moment's notice, just out of nowhere. And so I think that probably contributes to some of the emotional or unemotion that people can get from me. And I didn't cry at my father when my father passed, not because he wasn't a good dude or I didn't like him. It was just something about being the man of the house. And you know, back when society wasn't so sensitive and you were allowed to say like being a man is, you know, you got to be tough, back when that was okay to say, that I kind of took that, you know, I took that to heart. And, you know, I wouldn't let I didn't want, you know, none of the women seeing me cry or anything like that. So, you know, probably all that, along with my mom, it's probably definitely contribute to, you know, probably that unemotional state per se.
Well, listen, here's a question I'm going to ask you in a second. And then I'm going to ask you this question. So Phineas writes, all I got from mother is simp brainwashing. So my question to you, Sean, and I'll give you some time to think about it because I want to go and acknowledge some of the chats real quick. What did your mother teach you about dating? Don't answer that right now. Let me just go acknowledge some of the chats. Think about that for a quick second. So also, Phineas, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, my G. That's Uncle Phineas. You know what I'm saying? I got two uncles on YouTube. I got Uncle Phineas and Uncle J Doe. You know what I'm saying? And they both cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? The power of the internet. I cannot stay long. Leaving a tip. Happy Thanksgiving. Shit, I forgot it's Happy Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I forgot it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of y'all out there. I really do hope that all of you got to spend time with the people that you wanted to be able to spend time with. It's such a time of, it's that time of year that you got to take a step back and just be thankful, right? It's a time of year that you can take a step back and be appreciative of the relationships that you built. You know what I'm saying? So I always take a step back and just go into my notebook and write down a couple of my accomplishments of the past couple of months and the people that I was able to accomplish with. It's always a good time to be able to reflect. Some more of the comments are, I'm doing my best to keep up with the comments, you guys. I'm doing my best. There's a lot that's going on right now. My mom tried simp brainwashing me. Sean, I hope you're thinking about the answer to that question. And she may not have said anything. Like, I actually, my pops didn't talk to me about women really at all. A lot of my teachings from my pops were foundational things that helped me become a man, that I was able to use like going into the future as I dealt with people. But we'll get into that in a second. I know we haven't gotten to my side as well. PTR MB, we all ain't raised the same. If your mom had a negative effect in your life, that's your mom, not everyone else. Let me see. We got some other comments. Black men are stupid. Black women treat us like shit. They reject it in a disrespectful way. They call the police on us, go on national TV and talk bad about us. And black men are still nice. Brandon, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Brandon, I'm gonna keep on fucking with you. What? How, you're saying black men are stupid in the beginning of the sentence, and then you said black men are still nice at the end. Oh, you're calling black men stupid for banging with black women? Is that what you're saying? I'm gonna move on. I don't know. Brandon, write a better sentence. Okay, write a better sentence.
I was concerned. Take a breath.
Right. What's going on, Brandon? What's going on? Sarah, we all got to understand that our parents did what they knew to do. That's real. Yeah. I remember DMX telling his son, I did what I thought was right because I never had an example. So forgiveness and learning is key. Yo, that's super real. There's no rule book. I mean, there's no playbook. It's experience, like, it's a learning experience. Like I could, and Sean, I know. So Sean has a daughter as well. We could talk about that as well, kind of going into the rest of the show. But look at Brandon's concern that we weren't able to understand him. Brandon, write it over again. I am.
Yeah, it was hard to understand. Like I will just say yes or no. Let me see if I interpreted it right. Basically, he's saying, like, at the end of the day, he's like, yo, like, black dudes sit over here and be on that, oh, my queen and all the rest of that shit. And then black women are so quick to kind of put down, like, it's like the norm to kind of like put down a black dude and like call all of his faults and bring it to the light. But yet we still be on, it's all about the black woman and my queen and stuff like that. Is that right, Brandon? Is that kind of right? Because let me go tell you that's not how I feel. That's not how I get down. So if you're referring to me on that, like, that ain't me, bro.
Yeah. That's not. But I think, like, maybe Brandon's seen some videos before that. So Sean, I don't know if you know this, but like, I have some of my some guests that come on that are way more like what they refer to as blue pill, right? So they're all into the whole, my queen, my goddess, I'm gonna put you up on a pedestal, without understanding reality, without you know, understanding like and rationalizing like what's actually happening and just playing into their feelings.
Yeah, it's corny. It's corny. I don't get me started on that. That's actually a pet peeve of mine.
Look at he said yes. He also said they still nice to black women, you idiot.
Why are you so angry, bro?
Shut up. He
For God's sakes.
He's in his feelings. But he did say yes. All right. So how do you deal with depression and mental health issues when you don't have anyone but your mom? My relationship with my mom isn't that good.
Wow.
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
So let me give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let me give it a shot. Now, I am not a mental health therapist. All I have is a YouTube channel and experience. Okay. So let me start off with that. Okay. Here's where I would go. You have to reach out to others besides your mother. Right? Like, so the thing is that when someone is when someone's damaged, and they are vomiting their damage on you, you can't expect them to change. You have to have a degree of selfishness within yourself to step outside of that situation to change it for you. If you've identified that it is not conducive for your growth and development.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, who else in your family can you reach out to talk to? Who at school can you talk to from to help increase, like, to help you from a therapy perspective? Do you have a school therapist? There's a shitty feeling when you're in between a rock and a hard place, because you feel like, well, this person is protecting me, she's paying the bills, so I have to talk to her about anything. But if you've identified that, like, there's no conversing, there's nothing that you can do to talk to this person in a way which is going to help your mental health, like, I would say just go outside of there to see what you can do. There's a lot of videos on YouTube as well that kind of talk about this. Sean, I don't know if you have a perspective at all.
I think you got to go to a professional. And there's nothing wrong with therapy. No, people are just now making it the cool thing to do therapy. I think therapy is just for stuff like this, right? When you don't have anybody to talk to, I think being able to leverage a professional, kind of to John's point, but even taking another step to have a regular occasion where you can kind of get this stuff off your chest. Because often, I did therapy for a little bit. I would have kept on doing it, but the nigga didn't take the right insurances. So I was like, won't be paying you $100 every visit. Sorry. I'm going to have to find somebody else to talk to. But if you
Right.
somebody within your, whatever you have for insurance, man, I would strongly encourage you to do so. Because often, you got to let people be people. And one of the things that is tough about letting all your feelings out to those who, if you don't have anybody that you don't trust, is you make yourself vulnerable. You know what I mean? So I think that you want to get that stuff off your chest and leverage the professional help out there. Or to John's point earlier, you find somebody who you can trust. But to me, I think that professional help and purchasing that is or investing into that is kind of the way to go. It's the safest way to go to me.
Yeah. But professional help can be expensive. Identify someone in your family that you can reach out to and talk to. If the professional help can't just be given to you, you know what I'm saying? That's a tough one. It actually makes me think about the story that I told earlier, is that that little girl, what can she do? She doesn't have a choice. All I wanted to tell her, here's what I wanted to say to her in that particular situation. Study hard. Study hard, because that's your ticket out. That's your ticket out. Study hard, do well in school, apply to colleges. That's your ticket out. That's one ticket. You know, whether it's colleges, vocational school, getting your certification. There's a lot of different types of tickets, but you just have to do that for a certain amount of time, and then it changes, and you have so many years ahead of you. You know, like, you know, it's crazy. You know, you see these stories about, you know, people, you know, committing suicide at like 20 years old, 21, 22. And it's like, dog, like, you have maybe 80 more years left. You know what I'm saying? And the situation that you have now will not be the situation in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can change on a drop of a dime. You know, if you work hard at it, you know, if you buckle down. So what's up, bro?
It's instant gratification. I mean, I think that people don't look at the process anymore. And as corny and as cliche as that sounds, I think that that's a major part of like what is preventing people from progressing or even getting out of their, you know, down state. Is that at the end of the day, to me, life is like an elevator. It's ups and downs, you know, and you just got to ride that bitch out. And I think that people don't take the time to ride it out. They look like once they go down, it's over. You know what I mean? And that's just not a good thing.
Yo, I totally agree with you, bro. And we got some people in the chat. MTH, don't go to college. I mean, there's multiple ways.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends, bro. So I actually have a video on this, kind of, sort of. I didn't really get into it. We got Mike Weary the Great. Wait, did I click on the right one? No college, get a trade or CDL. Listen, it depends, guys.
It depends on the person.
Yeah, it depends on the person. So the thing is like, so there used to be a time in our history where it was like, go to college. Everyone had to go to fucking college. And now you see like developers not going to college and getting like certifications and YouTube courses, and they become these master developers. And they never went to college, and they're making well beyond $100,000 a year. But I say, like, you guys got to understand numbers. You got to understand, like, you got to quantify. If you guys understand what a bell curve is, right? You understand a bell curve and understand the concept of outliers. There's a lot of outliers where things can be extremely successful if you don't get a college degree. But if you take a look at the data of the amount of people who get college degree and the amount of money that they can make over their lifetime versus not getting a college degree, I can't reference the exact numbers right now, but at least right now, today, if you go get a college degree, it's a lot less risky of a bet. Now, what I didn't put into that equation is student loans, right? If you go get a college degree and you got a goddamn, I don't know, what's a art history degree, right? You can't, and you're paying $150,000 for it. You can't expect to get over that hump, right? Sean, I don't know if you have anything to comment. We gotta, you know, the original topic of the video, we've totally, we totally switched.
Yeah. Now I'll quickly say this. I mean, couldn't agree with you more. It's all about the data. Like, you know, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur because Zuckerberg and all the rest of them, blah, 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 blah. We all base our you can't base your life off the lotto winner and basically think that's what it applies to you. I agree. I think there's a lot of people who don't need to go to college and they can figure it out on their own. But there's a lot of people who need to go to college because, you know, they don't have the structure, nor do they have the resources and network to make things happen. So, and they don't have, you know, that drive. Maybe that their college is what kicks them in the ass to make that happen. So I think that you just can't put a blanket statement out there, and it goes by case basis.
Yeah, no, I agree. And there's positives and negatives. Like, listen, guys, you can get a college degree in communications and then move into human resources for your full-time employment. If you go get a CDL license, you can only do CDL. You can only do trucking stuff, right? I get it. I think what a degree can afford you is options, right?
Yeah.
Again, there's people that I know that work tangentially to me that have communication degrees and they work in IT, making IT money, right? So it just depends what you can do for it. I often find that the people that say don't go to college are the ones that haven't gone, right? And haven't experienced, and it's not to say in all situations. I get it. This whole debt crisis, the whole debt situation, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the type of debt that people are coming out of school of. If you even look at the comment right here, 04 Perry says, I refuse to let my son go to college. That's a debt trap. Why be 100K in debt just to get 50 to 60K a year job? Fuck that. Just go and trade and let them show them how to start a business, which I did. You know, I think that's a very short-term perspective, but I understand what you're saying. But listen, what's up?
I think that I look, if you can show your child the way to make the money and on their own, show them, then you have a point. But however, I bet you haven't ever experienced delivering a back shot on a twin size bed. I'm sure that'll get you to college. Yes, your son will want to experience that.
Right.
Sorry.
But at the same time, like but at the same time, you're a fool. But at the same time, listen, $50,000-$60,000 a year, 100K, you should be able to pay that off in 3 years.
Agree. Well,
like in 3 years.
Well, you could pay that off in 3 years. Saving tactics. Most Americans they'll take about 8 to 10.
Listen. So another thing to know, Sean. So like if we go on trips to Thailand and shit like that, you know what Sean tells me when we start them trips, bro? Watch my wallet. Make sure I don't go above and beyond, because that's the type of dude that I am. I'm a saver and investor. Sean is a spender. He was talking about before we got on the chat. He said he's glad I hit him up to do this chat because he was about to buy some Jordans. Like, it's just the type of person that he is. But anyway, I think that I get you. $100,000 in loans. That's a lot of loans.
It is.
That's a lot of loans, but making $50,000-$60,000 a year, 3 years later, they leave at 22. They should be able to pay it off by 25, 26. With a little bit of buffer in there. And then that's all income. Not to mention, at the time, they started at 60K coming out of school. What's their salary 3-4 years later, right? And then not to mention, they can't get a master's degree until they get an undergrad, right? And then once you get a master's degree, your potential income revenue can increase a lot. Listen, guys, there's a lot of ways to skin that cat. All I'm saying is that I hear a lot of, don't go get a degree. Look at all that debt. I still think you need to critically think about what is your why? What is your purpose? What about the degree is going to get you something closer to what that's ingrained within your soul? Not everybody wants to be a trucker. Not everyone wants a CDL. Yes, it's good money. It's good money, but not everyone wants to do that. So is a degree something like not letting your son or your daughter go get a degree? But meanwhile, like, but daddy, but mommy, I just I want to be a XYZ, and I can do that with a degree. And you're like, no, I ain't paying for shit. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's multiple ways to handle that. Listen, I'm gonna get back into the listen, there's a lot of comments. Jesus Christ, guys, I am sorry. I'm doing a bad job of moderating the comments. Let me see.
Is it still about
with the trade, you can never really be unemployed.
You know, being a lawyer is a trade too. So it's different trades that you can even get through school. So, you know.
I mean, it is a trade, but you need a college degree to do it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and not to mention this, you go get your CDL, trucking is going to be obsolete in the near future. Yeah, automation is doing some weird
automation.
Yeah. Sean, you seen that new that Tesla truck?
No, I didn't see the Tesla truck. No.
Oh shit! I'm gonna send you some screenshots. Actually, I'm not gonna send you the screenshots because as soon as I send you that shit, you're gonna try to figure out how to buy it. Knowing you. Sarah just asked a question. Do you think kids raised by single mothers. Say what?
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. She wants us to get back on topic.
Sarah, I appreciate you. Let's get back on topic. Let me see. There's a lot of degree questions. Maybe we'll get back into the degree. Look at Sarah over here. Yo, back shot on a twin size bed. That's a mental image. Hey, what up, Sarah? What up, Sarah? You know what I mean? Hold on. We can get. Oh shit! Hold on. Demetrius, $30 super chat. I think that's $30. NT. What does that mean? NT 30. Keep up the good work, Demetrius. I appreciate you wholeheartedly, my G. I appreciate you. It says NT 30. I don't know what country are you in, Demetrius? Is that like New Zealand? Where's it at?
I don't know if he gave you $30 buy.
Yeah, he gave $30 fucking what's it called? Yeah, bot. So bot is Thailand money, which is like that shit is trash. Like $100. Listen. Let me tell you guys a quick story, real quick. Not like I showed on the shit. Listen, when we was in Thailand, it was like almost 4 or 5 years ago. When we was in Thailand, we met these young ladies, and you know, we were super cool with them, and they invited us back to their crib. We bought them KFC. And this goes to like everybody who complains about being in America and shit like that, and always wants to complain and shit. We bought these motherfuckers KFC, and they lost their mind.
Facts.
Their entire mind.
Yeah.
They were losing it. They lost their mind.
Shit.
It was good times, bro.
I forgot about the other places, Finland and Amsterdam. Don't forget about that.
We went to Finland. We went to Amsterdam. Listen, they show brothers love over there. Love, admiration, and acceptance.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Get back to Sarah's topic. We'll go on for days.
Yeah, we'll go on for days. Actually, we should tell stories and then upload it to my Patreon.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, we gotta tell stories and upload it to the Patreon. We can't leave it. We can't do that on YouTube. More ways to support patreon.com/MTNR. Sean, real quick, how are you good on time? I know you said you was going out to the mall and shit. Are you all right?
Yeah, we all right, man.
Listen, man, we gotta figure out how to do this more often, bro. This is the shit that we talked about years ago. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
This is the shit we talked about years ago. All right, listen, the chat. Oh, he said it's Taiwan money. Hey, Demetrius, thank you so much again for the love and the support. I really appreciate it, my G. That's crazy. Demetrius, are you Taiwanese? Just answer that. I want to see your answer. It's crazy. I think on the channel, I was looking at the analytics today. It's like 75% are from the United States. The 25% is from other places. So it's interesting to see where people are tuning in at. And it's crazy to think that we're now talking to people that's all the way, literally on the other side of the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
So just real quick before we go back into the original topic of the video, trades are things like engine building, welding, machinist, construction, petroleum technician, all the manual labor jobs that no one wants to do. Listen,
as well as all the jobs that they're figuring out how to put robots in place.
That's a true statement. I think jobs that are more how do you say, like like are not right for automation, right? Or there's like, it's knowledge worker jobs as opposed to hand worker jobs. Hand worker jobs, those are the most ripe for automation. I don't know if you guys have seen this, and like, if I didn't have Actually, I can still do it right now. There's a Sean. Have you seen the Google? What's that voice chat software? Google. Shit. What's the name of this motherfucker called? Hold on a second. Let me see.
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah, the main thing is that, you know, just on the trade thing, now that I see it, I totally understand where people are coming from. Like a lot of my family, most of my family are in what you would say so-called trades. But yo, the reality is, man, if you don't keep up with the times, yo, you put yourself at risk, bro.
Yeah.
God, you put yourself at risk, man. Like the movies where it shows the robots and it shows like the people who are like stranded in the middle of the desert, not eating and it's just like war out there. It's because I feel like they weren't paying attention to the times and they didn't want to adjust. And it's just how life is, man. It's just like the dudes, it's just like the men who don't want to adjust to how they need to speak to women in the workplace. It's when you don't adjust, you get left behind and
Facts.
you're asked out like at the end of the day. And like I'm not saying that having a trade doesn't make sense. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, the people who make money, who are paying these people to do the trades, are saying, okay, this motherfucking you know, cuts their finger off. I got to pay insurance. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to deal with the human element of
Yeah.
getting something done when all I want is the complete end product. You know what I mean? And what better way to save money, cut costs, cut time, than to put a robot in place, especially on stuff that can be completely, what's the word I'm looking for? That can be automated. Like
Yeah.
you're doing a repetitive process at the end of the day. And then
Yeah.
you program it where there's less error. You remove the human error component of it. Yikes, guys. Be careful on that trade stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But I think we all need to be aware, right? Like, I was reading a story not too long ago that was talking about lawyers at JP Morgan Chase, like they replaced like 400,000 hours of lawyer time because they have some analytical software that can
Yeah.
do the job of like these lawyers. And I mean, it's saving them hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year, because lawyers are super expensive. So white collar jobs, they're also right for it as well. But the difference between the automation of vocational versus knowledge worker, it's going to take them a lot longer for the knowledge worker
Yeah, for sure.
positions. So Civil Shaman, shout out to you, bro, says automation cannot build a skyscraper or a home yet. Listen, there's videos all over the internet where they have pods that are being built, home pods that are being built completely by robots. Check it out. And another thing I wanted to call out, the AI that I was talking about is Google Duplex. I think I can actually YouTube it and look at it right now, but I don't want to take too much away from the stream right now because we gotta get back into the original conversation. But look up Google Duplex. Do it after the stream. Write it down right now. Google Duplex. It's a conversational voice AI where it can make appointment calls for you. So you can say, hey, Google Duplex, I want a haircut appointment for 2 weeks from now from this and such store. And it'll actually make the call for you, but it does it in a human voice. And it responds to the person back. It responds back to the person in a way that's so human-like. It's ridiculous. Take time and look at that video. It's not too long. It's about 4 or 5 minutes. So you got to think about the jobs of like call center reps. Like it costs money to put people in those seats. And that's actually the highest cost of call center jobs that typically any company has. Right? Because you got to have people on the phone call in order to answer your questions. A lot of companies that outsource it, but for the ones that keep it internal, it's a lot of money. For the company that I work with, it's like a $15 an hour minimum, right? So best believe that a lot of these commercial entities are looking into how they can replace call center jobs because they can gather all of the top sorts of conversations that happen. And then they can build out bots essentially to give answers to customers, because it's only but so much that varies. You guys probably don't know this, but I work in digital automation right now. So I work on like chatbot technology. So we're working in on, how can we avoid some of the costs that would normally come into a cost center in a way that still enhances the customer journey. Listen, we got a bunch of goddamn massage by Maja. I see you. What's good? Listen, we're about to get back into the original content of the conversation. Sean, I gave you way more than enough time to think about my original question. Do you remember it? It's like the question was,
advice my mother gave me.
Yeah. So wait, real quick. Let me just hit into the chat real quick. Artificial intelligence doesn't discriminate. If your job includes analyzing data, you can be automated out of a job. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not just I'm not just, I'm a little bit late in the chat, so maybe he said that a little bit longer ago. Insurance firms like Fuku Mutual Life Insurance is making 34 employees redundant and replacing by IBM's Watson. Yeah, IBM Watson. Which is artificial intelligence built by IBM. Yeah, and then we got to do a whole conversation on this automation stuff. Apparently, this is a popping topic. They built an entire skyscraper in China fully by a robot. Google Shimuzu Corp. Yeah, Google that so you guys can have an understanding of the technology that's coming. Book of Alpha, Dr. BOA. Thank you so much for coming back in the chat, brother. Look at how the analytical assessment trend is replacing the true performance stats in sports as a critique of athlete value. Yo, there's businesses that are being built. They're being built on enhancing athletes by using artificial intelligence.
Yep, I met somebody. I met this company from Jerusalem.
Talk about it, bro.
Yo, even though we shouldn't, but yo, these guys were crazy. Like, they're from Israel. Like, hey, I guess this is me being a dumbass American. I didn't know that Israel has like this fortress around it. So when, like, I think it's Palestine, somebody is shooting missiles over at Jerusalem or whatever over there all the time. And there's like a biodome that covers it. And so they said when you go over there, you see in the sky like all these explosions, but it's because it's hitting this force field around the city. It's crazy. But long story short, long story short, these guys were coming in from Jerusalem or Israel, whatever, wherever, over there. And they had this company, and that's what they were doing. They were basically trying to improve athlete performance through mental stimulation in some machines. So, like, for instance, if you can, like, I guess you have like a screen, and there'll be stuff that'll come at you quickly, and then basically that repetitive like appearances of whatever the flashes were start to build on your quick twitch and your ability to react to stuff, which then transitions over to athletic performance when, a crossover is because you're able to, cross the ball over, make the move, quicker than the other individual.
Right. And
that's what their tool was using to enhance. Sorry, you'll learn that I don't get the details. I just get the high level.
he's a high level guy. He's a high level gentleman. Listen, listen. Go over Dr. Dr. BOA. Go over to his channel. He's another content creator. Go over to his channel. Click up in your tab. Open up a new tab. Go to his channel. Hit subscribe. Hit alert. That man has content. Trust and believe, that man has content. Yeah, bro.
What does he have?
Huh?
What does he have?
Content. He's a content creator. Fuck you laughing at? Content. He's got content. But listen, so I binge watch on automation YouTube channels from time to time. I can't remember the names of the channel, and I apologize. But there's this motherfucker that I watch who, so you guys know, like, if you're on like Google Chrome and You don't have internet connection. That little fucking dinosaur appears at the top that says no internet connection. If you click on that dinosaur, a game actually pops up. Oh shit. Dr. BOA, if you hit the right topic, a stream will get away from you with the quickness. I apologize, my G. Yo, so thank you for the $5 super chat, number one. Yeah, you're right. We're gonna get back on topic in a second, but it's crazy. Like, it seems like there's so many people that are interested in this automation topic. I think it's something that I'll need to do an entire other show that I feel like we gotta hit on specifically. But thank you for the $5 super chat, my G. I got my notifications turned on too. Your next live stream, I gotta be in there. You know what I'm saying? It was one of the live streams that we were in, and the topics just get crazy. So everyone who's watching this, go over there, subscribe to him, because he's the content king. All right. But anyway, I follow these automation channels, and there's this is one dude who just builds games and then builds in artificial intelligence in the game to beat the game at a rate and an effectiveness that a human never could. So he'll take games like, so again, if you're on Google Chrome, you click on that dinosaur, it's a game where you have to like jump over shit. That so he built an AI to jump over the ship and never fucking lose. Like, you guys know the game Snake. The game Snake, where you hit it and it's like you gotta collect.
Nokia.
Huh? Or Nokia.
Nokia phone.
He codes and develops, build the neural network and the machine learning algorithms into the code where the computer can solve it, to the point where, and it's crazy if you watch the video, there was no space left on the screen. It was just a giant ass snake, and only two, I think it was only like 2 spots remaining. But the AI was built in a way, and you know, and the thing is with machine learning is that it trains on itself, right? And that's at the point where it gets scary. It's like a human training a computer at the point, right? Like it's fast, right? Like a computer can learn shit and develop on itself crazy fast after it reaches a certain amount from human intervention. The part that it gets scary is when bots or computers are training bots or computers. That's when you get to the point where you can learn all of the world's history, all of the world's facts, intelligence, what have you, in the drop of a dime, and how to do things in a drop of a dime. That's when this gets scary, and they're just starting to investigate all of this now. But I can't remember the name of the channel right now. I might put it back in the description if you guys come back into the channel. But let me get back in there. We actually got to get back to the actual topic of the of the stream. We got to get back into it. Wait, hold on real quick. I worked at UPS for years, couldn't do it anymore. Got my associates in information systems. That's what I got my bachelor's in while I was too young, and immediately got a better job, better pay, less stress, and constantly evolving. You know what's crazy about that, Sean? You know my god sister. I have no doubt she works more than me, harder than me, and doesn't make anything like I make. And I think it's a good data point that I want you guys to understand, is that, you know, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. And as long as you work hard in what you're doing, you'll be good in life, but there's ways to work smarter. And what are the things that you are doing to invest into yourself to increase your efficiency going into the later parts of your life? Like Sean can attest to this. I can attest to this. We worked fucking hard in our 20s to be relatively comfortable in our 30s and beyond. This guy right here, Good Farah, was working hard as fuck at UPS. Went and got a degree. Now doesn't work as hard, but makes more money, right? So you have to consider the trade-offs as you go into the future. Sean, you got anything to add to that?
No, I think you nailed it.
All right, so getting back into the original topic. So Sarah, thank you for keeping us honest, my. Do you think kids raised by single moms make better partners, spouses than kids raised by single dads? As an adolescent, did you resent the opposite sex or better understand, empathize due to upbringing? Sarah.
Yeah, she came with the.
She came with the heat.
different ways. Wow.
She came with the heat. You want to start, bro, or you want me to?
Man, I think wow, I think that's a great question. God, I think number one, my ma is for me, she raised me to be as transparent as possible with women. Um, that's the main thing, is be transparent. And she said, look, women are different, and you know, there's you hurt one, and she's going to be vengeful, and you won't ever feel anger like the vengeance of a woman or a hurt woman. So you need to kind of govern yourself accordingly with that in mind, and always, you know, keeping consideration that at the end of the day, you know, you want to make sure that you aren't out here doing the things that will get your ass bit. You know what I mean, by a woman. Um, so transparency is key. And you got to make the judgments to, you know, either don't play with no woman. Like that was her main thing. Don't play with no woman. She never put a woman above, like, yeah, you need to kowtow to a woman or anything like that. So she was always about just mainly being transparent and forthright with them, you know, and don't play games. As far as it like going into for me being a better partner, I think honestly, um, I think it's different. It's a difference for different people. Like my mom, she's not soft, if that makes any sense. Like my mom's kind of tough. So I honestly, personally think I think John would be a better uh, partner for a woman than I would be. I have a resistance of control. Like I can almost feel at times where, um, and maybe it's just because, like, again, I was a rebel. So, you know, while my mom was independent, she was also strict, and I was a rebel. And so, like, I think I struggle with relationships because I don't like that control portion, or like giving myself up to be controlled. So I would say that probably in my case, it may make being a my partnership is different. Like I'm not going to come from a standpoint of how can I explain this, man? I'm trying to articulate it where it makes sense.
Let,
I
let,
think I think
go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say
No, go ahead.
I was gonna segue it into an additional question. Um, I think I already know the answer to this because I know you, but the general mantra is being raised, you know, having a single mother raise a son will make them feminized, will feminize them.
Yeah, no.
Um, I want you to be able to react to that because um, I do see this and I do hear this. There's a lot of dudes that I know that are raised in a single parent by the mother. Father wasn't in the house, and they are um, punching bags. They are fake tough. They are loud, right? They fucking talk a lot, right? Like they're emotional. They're feelings based. They make decisions based off of how they feel. They get into um, they bully people. They get into fights um, off of ego, right? They can't control their anger, right? Like I just want to get your reaction to that because I think a well-rounded person needs both, whether
Yes.
you're male or you're female. I think a well-rounded person needs both sides, and I've struggled with that. Oftentimes, I get into these conversations with people that are so rational, they're so analytic, based off of logic, and I just can't comprehend how they can understand a topic or situation, or like how do they like right? But why do you think that when we have the data? Like why? Like what's wrong with you, right? So like So I know that I've lacked that in my life. So I just want to get your perspective, being raised by a single mother. How do you feel about that? Like, this concept of young men being feminized by single mothers.
I mean, I guess I could see it where I it doesn't apply to me. Like my mom wasn't. I think she worked extra hard to ensure that didn't happen to me.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like she wouldn't allow me to be a punk. If that makes it, like it just wasn't in her nature. Like it was just kind of a very kind of matter of fact culture, like within our household. It wasn't really that in between. It was very like very, very, very matter of fact. So no, I can't relate, but I do see that where I think the moms or single moms sometimes turn their sons into like their husbands or their husband replacements, and therefore sometimes the guys get an inflated sense of ego and entitlement,
Yeah.
in the real world because they're built up as the king. The only thing my mom did in terms of treating me as like a husband or whatever is put my ass to work in the yard like a slave. Like that's the only thing where I got any type of
Right.
like yo, like she's the reason why I refuse to move into a place with a yard because I don't want any type of upkeep. She's taking all that out of me. Like
Yeah.
I want no parts of landscaping. So I think that's what it comes down to is like when these moms glorify their sons and their kings and their little kings and da 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 da, it builds this false sense of entitlement to some of these guys, and they don't understand that there's opposing views and their views aren't always right, and how to get along because they're used to being the king of the hill. It's like putting a king into a regular society.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Entitlement, bro. I think you hit the nail on the head. These participation trophy ass kids that are coming up nowadays that just feel like things should just be handed to them. And they shouldn't have to work as hard for the success that like you and I have achieved. You know what I'm saying? And there is that, but let me bring it back to is it so much as the gender that's raising you versus the experience, right? Because I think like your mom had a Southern upbringing with heavily male influence, so I think that within that you got really lucky because you had things instilled in you with the backdrop of masculinity, right? So it helped you take in information in a way that's more rational, right? That's more however you want to call it. So is it less on gender and more on experience?
Mm. I'm gonna have to go with experience. I think it's more on experience, less with gender, because I think that if men do the same thing. They could do the same thing in a parenting situation where they entitle their child to you're supposed to be given this, you're supposed to get this, you're special, you're the best, and blah 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 blah. And I think that that individual, if their experience is that's how they have to coach their child or bring their child up, that's what you're going to get. If all you know is that you're special, you're supposed to, you're going to have, if you teach that into your kid, it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, because I know both can do that. I think the experience is, and I don't want to just keep like being a mama's boy, but the experience, mama, it was no you're supposed to blah 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 blah. It was you can compete with, you are just as good as.
Mm.
So that's the words I grew up on versus kind of like yeah, no, you're supposed to be there, or this is yours, or yeah, no, you go to college, you're supposed to get a good job, or blah 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 blah. Like that's not what I grew up on. So I would say that her experience then translates to her teachings for me, versus somebody who maybe was given it, and so they don't know what it's like to really work, or they never had it. And it's kind of like with people in getting married, they assume that something's supposed to be like this and it's supposed to be like that, so therefore they're just like, hey, the way to build a successful person is to basically make them feel entitled or make them feel that they already have it. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that it goes down to experience, and it's not really gender. It just goes into that person's belief of who's given the teachings.
You know, it's a fair point. I can't disagree with it. I think the experience, it also has to be tied to, like, for example, I think if I was raising a young man, I would be way more equipped to do that than raising a young woman or a young girl, because my experience is based off of how my pops led it for me. And this is back to my original point of having two in the household, at least two in the household, to be able to usher that young person off into maturity. Because I don't know how I would do it for a young girl, which, I feel like is a very important segue. So Sean, so you have a young daughter, she's coming up on 2.
No, 3.
She's coming up on 3 now. Yo, it's been too long since I've seen her, bro. We gotta work on that.
Yeah.
She's coming up on 3 now. God damn, 3? It's just, time is just rolling. She's coming up on 3 now. As being a father, in ushering forward a young woman, a young lady, a young girl, what are some of the things that you've learned on this journey, that maybe you wish you would have learned a little bit earlier, kind of going forward?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, man, and we kind of hinted on it before, the biggest thing is to let people be people. You know, my daughter is a person. She's not my belonging. She's not my ownership. That's my daughter. Like that, the only thing I own is my relationship of being her father, but I don't own her life. And I think that's the biggest thing that I had to accept. Number one, having a daughter, you think about a guy who's had his fun in his life. You're like, a daughter, you're like, shit, here comes
Right.
his karma. But that's
Yeah,
not the
you hear
way.
that a lot. The dudes who had the fun is usually the dudes that got like 3 daughters. Man.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, bro. Demetrius back in here. 150. I don't know what that means. I'm about to go into the converter. 150 Taiwanese dollar super chat. Demetrius, thank you so much for the contribution. I've had this conversation with multiple women in different countries, students to professionals. They say single mothers are a detriment to society.
They can be.
Yeah.
They can. I don't disagree. If you don't mind me hopping on that,
Go ahead, bro.
think, like I said, I got lucky. With my mother and having a strong family and just having her background. But candidly speaking, first of all, having just one parent and one perspective is the detriment of society, because you're not able to see both sides. So let's make sure we don't just put it as a single mother. It's a single parent. Single parents are a detriment to society because it breaks off perspective. But at the same time, I think that there's a lot of stuff where it's not a good look, because just with where we're going in society, like it's a weird spot, right? So we're talking about female independence, but a lot of times, single mothers take just being single mothers as independence, when in all actuality they're needy as fuck. And I think there's a lot more of those single mothers than there are the ones who are holding it down by themselves. And I think, unfortunately, those single mothers kind of, tell the tale. And that's the real situation. A lot of single moms, man, I've seen it. Like, I remember used to growing up, and divorce started really becoming heavy as we got older. You know what I mean? I think divorce really hit while we were, through the 80s and the 90s. Like, that's when divorce was real. And I would just see like my boys' parents and even like little chicks I was messing with, and like their moms was neat. Like their moms always had to have a dude around. And it's like they couldn't stand on their own too without that. And so if you have that as an example, absolutely that's a detriment to society, because you're seeing somebody who's supposed to be a provider that's constantly in need of somebody else in order to be a provider. So what type of mentality is going to be, built from that type of experience?
Right. I know. I think it's a fantastic point, bro. Let me get into the comments real quick. MTH, why does he keep highlighting Sarah's comments instead of ours? MTH, I haven't seen. Listen, I think you're discounting the difficulty in having a conversation and reading y'all comments. I haven't seen a lot of your comments, bro. Oh wait, here goes one. Do you realize the stuff we were saying improvement? I'm not even sure what was going on before this conversation, guys. It's hard to keep up from time to time. I apologize for that. Belly Wank. They also tend to have higher IQ test scores by the age of 3 and endure fewer psychological problems throughout their lives when fatherhood is taken seriously. The stats are the stats that single fathers do better than single mothers.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, I think I could be biased because, I have actually I put a post up not too long ago, and it's my pops, saying for Thanksgiving, this is who I'm grateful for. In fact of the matter is, bro, if my moms, like, let's say like after they got divorced and I went with my moms, I would have been fucked up. I mean, I'm just going to say that just straight out, like no disrespect, you know what I'm saying? But like, I would have been a tumultuous young person. I would have been angry, right? I would have had temper, right? Like I would have been confused. You know what I'm saying? And but I think that there's a couple of things happening with that. I think we're getting to the point of our history right now where people are really starting to question the path that has been laid out for us. So now that we've questioning the path, you got to understand that we're humans. We're humans now as we were humans 30 years ago. But because of the information age, we now have the opportunity and availability to really question the path that's set out in front of me. Our parents and our parents' parents did not. They were given paths and they stuck to that path. And what had happened is you begin to see some people that become ultimately unhappy with the paths that they've chosen. I firmly believe that there's components of people that are not designed or destined to be mothers. I think that there's some people that are not designed and destined to be fathers. I think if you get the roll of the die where you get both that were destined, that it's a part of their being and their soul, and they'll lay down everything to make sure that you develop into a decent person in society. Like, you were privileged, like you were blessed, like, you have, right? And they have an environment capable for you, right? Like, and they enable that environment, they enable that security. Like, you have, the world is your oyster. But we see young people that have all that and they still end up being shitty people. Wait, hold up. Let me just, PTRMB, thank you for the $70 czar. I'm not sure what that is, bro. But thank you for the 70 czar super chat. Appreciate the love, czar, Z-A-R. Oh, he said Mandia? I've never heard of that country. Being a crappy parent, single or not, or a person is not exclusive to a particular gender. If you're a bad person raised poorly, don't matter what the gender is, experience play a role. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Experiences play a role. So there's a component of them being kind of incapable or even wanting to do it, even though that they've made that decision to have that child. But then also too, specifically to raising a young man, I do think that a woman has to, like, there has to be a degree of male thought or male sponsorship or male mentorship in order to help mold a man into what a man should be or is. Because I feel like the default from a feminine woman, it doesn't do a young man justice. Sean, I don't know if you have a comment on that.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I think it also takes the ability to be not fucking selfish, right? So how do you humble yourself and say, I don't know the answers, so I'm not going to pretend to know the answers.
Right.
And I think that sometimes you see somebody who won't take the time to like sit back and just say, hey, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm either going to ask or I'm not going to comment and put something so make a statement that's so in stone, like you know what I mean? Like I feel like for instance, like even with a single mother, you know, if you don't understand something that a young man is going through, then don't comment on it as if you do. You know, take that honest approach with your child. And I honestly, I'm not sure. Like, let's figure out how to get you. You know, let me think of somebody that you could talk to about that. A lot of moms won't do that because they want to, or dads or whoever, the individuals don't want to humble themselves to say, hey, you know, I don't know what I don't know, and I may need some help or some guidance. So I think that's a major component of it. Like, yeah.
No, that's super real. It's super real, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I was also blessed that my pops is a teacher, right? So like, you know, he would talk, he would take the time, because there's things, you know, I was a very cognizant young man. I was a very cognizant young boy, but I think like it was enhanced by my pops being able to share experiences in a way that I was able to grasp because he took the time. So that time is a major component. So just real quick, I see Pip Cheerio. She changed the profile picture. Ooh, I'm late. What the heck is going on? MTR ran a do-rag. And who is this discount Sinbad? Listen, she jokes in the channel.
Yeah,
from time to time.
The discount Sinbad is such an offensive one to a light skinned nigga. That's like a word. No light skinned nigga wants to be compared to Sinbad ever.
Right. Yeah. No, it's not a good.
It's not a good like. It's like of all the ones that you could pick, don't pick him.
Right. She's super disrespectful. She's super disrespectful.
Very not very pip of her.
Yeah, it's not very pip. It's actually the opposite. Okay. Sarah says, I was raised by a Vietnam vet who came back from the war with an opioid addiction. This was grandpa. He was not the best dad to my dad, but he was a personal Superman. His rearing was better than my mom's. It's real.
Yeah.
That's super real.
I think a case basis, bro. I think that often we also got to look at. I know you don't watch this, John. You don't even watch sports.
My name is mediocre. God damn it. Continue.
Gotcha. So you know, it's kind of like there was this show called The Affair, and it was an interesting concept that they came up on there. And again, it's not real, but it was an interesting concept that they spoke about, and it was like the lining of trauma, right? So like trauma is passed down from generation to generation, and often you have the ability to either succumb to the trauma or fight against it.
Yeah,
like you're born with that trait, and whatever trait like rises above is the one that is going to shape the person. So if you're resilient and you fight against trauma, then despite your bad circumstances, you're able to break through and make stuff happen.
Right.
I think that also is something that could be considered, is that a lot of people, what, just because you have a bad upbringing and a bad experience personally doesn't mean that you can't change or alter your uh, energy, or how you display, or how you know, govern or teach people differently. It doesn't mean you can't be in a different, you can't, you know, create your own life or create your own teachings.
Yeah.
I think that that's hard, right? Just like it's hard to go to the gym if you're prone to get fat. You know what I mean? Like you've got to work hard to get a different result, and some people aren't willing to put in the time to get that result.
Right. No, some people are not willing. Um, you know, I try to stay cup half full, in a sense that I think, like, with the proper amount of mentorship, you can make it rain true. Like, the one analogy that analogous situation that I think about is, like, you if you look at, like, stand-up comedians, and I know you dabbled in that and shit. But like a Kevin Hart, I saw Kevin Hart like way back in like 2005 at the undergrad that I went to, and he was hilarious up on stage. So, but when did Kevin Hart really blow? Right?
Shit, yeah, it's a
Years
wow.
later. Years later. Right? So, like, he put an effort and a grind in to become the number one comedian through box office, revenue sales, in a very fucking long time. It might be ever. But I say all that to say, just to compliment your point, bro. It's an effort thing. Only some are prepared for and ready to put it up in a way that makes the most sense for what it is that they're trying to accomplish. Just real quick, $70, excuse me, not dollar, 70 czar super chat. Again, I don't know how much money that is. Could be a penny, could be 1,000 pennies. I'm not sure, but thank you. So
Ooh,
much.
oh my God,
We don't
I
take,
love it.
huh? You want to read it, bro? Go ahead. If you read one, go ahead, bro. I've been reading all of them. You can
I
read it.
got to. We don't take time in improving ourselves and being whole people before having kids, which is our downfall. Being good, healthy, passionate, unselfish, loving, hardworking. Yo, whoever this guy is from Mandia, yo, that right there touches my heart, because, man, I'm not even going to go into it like that, but I couldn't agree with you more.
Right,
Everybody wants to have a kid because society says have a kid,
right,
but they're not ready for a kid. They're not financially ready. They're not mentally ready. They're not unselfish. They're not willing to stop what they're doing to sacrifice for the improvement and creating the pathway for somebody that is, underneath your responsibility at this point. They're not willing to do that.
right,
And it is a downfall, because you have all these parents who still want to do what the fuck they want to do, right? That have the children, that ignore the children, that take pictures with the children. But when it comes to actually building a future or building something that is useful for the kid, they can't do it because they can't sacrifice and they can't put that kid before themselves.
right.
Hello.
What was that? That Tori?
Yes. Come here.
Come on, let's see Tori real quick. This is how I knew, and we'll get into it in a second. This is how I knew no paternity test was needed. Hi, Tori. She probably don't even remember me. Hi, Tori. Look at her. Hi, Tori.
Can you say hi? Okay. But dude, like that point right there, man, is one of the biggest things that I believe in. And candidly, I wasn't ready to have a kid. Not necessarily because I wasn't unselfish. I was selfish, but I think how I was raised, it's just natural to be like, okay, well, now that you have a kid, all X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z has to go away.
Yeah.
I didn't plan for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have wanted to plan for that. And, you know, it's a difference when you're shooting up the club with like, yes, this is what I want. I want a child. I want to create life. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a difference. But I think naturally, you know, I was able to sacrifice. I'm not perfect or anything like that with it, but you know, when it comes to being unselfish and doing what's, I get that, and I think that people just they don't do that, John. They don't do that mediocre. They don't do that. Like it's not
Right.
it's not a natural. They just want to push around the baby carriages and look cool with the babies at brunch sipping on martinis and all the rest of it. But the reality is you aren't ready for that kid. You
Right.
aren't, because you if you're ready for a kid, you're not complaining, oh my God, like I had the kid all day, like I need time. No.
Right.
That's what having a kid is for. Like what is this nonsense? You know how many moms I've heard? You know how many moms I've heard? Yeah. You know how many moms or parents I've heard where they'd be like, I've had the kid all day long. Like, and it's like, yeah, because it's your kid.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Your life has changed. No,
life has changed.
Yeah, I want you to go, like, don't apologize for shit like that, bro, because I feel like you got to just go in, you know what I mean? Like, you got to say it in a way that's realistic, you know? And then you know, I have a outside looking in mentality. You have a on the inside, so you see it from a different perspective. But like, to my point earlier, and I think our parents and our parents' parents were more subjected to this, but it's following a path, right? Like following a path, not looking outside of what actually you want to do, right? Like, is marriage good for me? Like, does my personality sit within marriage, right? Are kids good for me? Does my personality sit within kids? Is college good for me? Does my personality sit within, you know, so now we have the access to be able to think about new ways of living. But like, you know, there's a lot that have been put in the position that never wanted to be there. And I think like when you see like comments like we had earlier, like, you know, my mom is not that good, or like earlier when I saw that mother slap that young girl, you know, I gotta go back to, this was not you. This is not what you should be doing. You don't have that maternal instinct, right? Like it's not within you. It's just not within you. It was left out. I mean, it's damn near like a sickness, because, you know, we're put here to procreate at some stretch of the imagination. So you may not have that thing. Now you also touched on something that I think is very important as well, which is, you know, at the point that it happened, you buckled down, you hunkered down, and you got prepared, and you got ready, and you made some life changes, you made some life shifts, you know. So and that's important as well. There's a lot of dudes, there's a lot of black men out there that don't make that life shift, that don't make that change, and they can living as is. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we need more examples like that. You know, more clear and readily available examples like that. You know, which is part of why, like, I'm doing this channel shit, bro. Is to give a different perspective from a whole new lens. You know, from dudes that have done well, have done relatively well. But we make the time in order to be able to enhance the conversation. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's definitely something that, you know, it's an honor to be a part of, to even join it, because like at the end of the day, it's perspective. And I think that the more times we hear perspective, right? Like even when you look at, like, and this is kind of way off the topic, but even when you look at just the hood, right? And they only look at, like, you know, athletes, drug dealers, rapping is the way to be successful. When, you know, if they hear some other perspective on a constant basis and they have access to it, you know, it could change up with how they go about their lives. You know, one of the things I always just say is like, yo, it's so funny because, like, you know, we do relatively well, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like we still enjoy the same things that, you know, some of these other people do as well, that they glamorize or want to be like. Like you can still have some of the things that you want. It's just, you know, levels to it. And you know, if you understand that glory per se still exists outside of your own purview, then I don't know. It's
Right.
just something to Jesus. Yeah.
So Pip Pip Cheerio says, anyway, if you're a woman past 25 and you still look at babies, kids with a slight disgust, then you should probably never have kids. LOL. Some women will never have that maternal instinct. Yeah. Some may not, some won't. Mark,
May take you. It may it may take time. I think that what we have to do is we can't generalize, right? And that's what's happening right now, is that we all want to categorize stuff. People develop differently. Like we have to do, I think as people, we have to start taking the time to start individualizing stuff instead of always categorizing stuff. I know that you use data to get a data gives you a trend. It can give you a probability of what's ahead, but you have to do the research to take things on a case by case basis. And I think that even like, you know, somebody past 25 to 30, they could be looking at children crazy, but then 30 to 35, it could be a whole different thing where that thing kicks in. You know, it's just perspective. I get where she's going with it though. I think Pip Pip is a woman, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever, the gender without a penis or whatever you call them. Or I don't know what to call the other opposite sex of male anymore. So
that was an entire video. I should put that link down here to make sure people saw it. Listen, just real quick, this is an aside. There's 50 people in the chat right now. If I don't have at least 50 likes on my goddamn video, don't y'all play with me. Go up, scroll up, like the goddamn video, come back down, look at us talking to you. Go back in the comment section. Go like the goddamn video. Don't you play with me. Okay?
Like the video.
Like the video. Like the video. YouTube shows me no respect. Okay? Like the video so they can show me more respect. My boss is the fucking YouTube algorithm. We're talking about AI earlier. It's the algorithm, you know? It's the goddamn algorithm. You keep hitting up the like button and it shows me love in the goddamn search results. Hey Tori.
Say hello.
Hey.
My mess.
That guy needed no DNA test. Sarah says, but baby Tori is so freaking cute. Mark, you don't watch sports, dude. Alpha, what? I don't remember us talking about sports, but no, I don't watch sports. Maybe he's looking at the video.
It gets disgusting. He cares. He doesn't care about watching a game. He like goes off somewhere else, trying to look at the widgets how did it get connected to them? I'm like, dude, sit down.
I don't bang. I'm gonna talk about it in a second. Listen, we'll do this for another 7 minutes. Okay. That'll be a full 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Of bros connecting, talking about some real shit. I think that's enough time. You know what I'm saying? So 7 more minutes. We'll do this for 7 more minutes. Yeah, like I think watching sports is a waste of time. I'm not gonna be honest. I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest and 100%. Here's why I think it's a waste of the time. Just as we were talking about before, like this whole concept of being fed a path. Men have been fed a path that, you know, you have to watch sports to be a man. Okay. My thing is no, you don't. Because there's nothing manly to me about watching other motherfuckers sweat, in my opinion. I would rather sweat myself. Okay. Not like it makes no sense. My bad. Is Tori listening? she can't hear. She can't hear bad words from her godfather, can she? Okay.
Yeah. No, that's
okay.
Fine. I wanted to be exposed to the bad word.
Yeah, like, listen, how you spend an entire Sunday just watching grown giant men sweat. And then right, like what did you do in that time? Like what did you do to improve yourself in that entire time that you watched all these giant human beings do extraordinary stuff? I respect the hustle. Don't get it twisted. I respect what they do, but I just mean from a improving yourself perspective, like.
So what about all right, so don't you so you used to do like karate and martial arts when you were younger, right?
Yeah. So I did martial arts and that, well, that's the
Don't
thing.
you
Is
like
that, like,
watching UFC? Don't you like
huh?
watching UFC? Don't you like
Yeah,
watching
I
UFC?
like watching UFC, but here's the difference. 30 minutes of my time. It's 30 minutes.
Well, so here goes the thing. So that's your particular activity. So what I'm getting at is I played football when I was younger. I played football in college. So I watch football because I love football. You like martial arts. So you watch UFC. Now granted, it's only, 5-minute matches or whatever, 3-minute, periods. So 30 minutes is just what your sport takes. My sport is a little bit long.
Well, here's the thing is that, like I say, I watch it, but I really only watch the highlights. And I really only watch like the championship, like, if there's like a Saturday night and a big fight happens and like 5 minutes later it's posted on YouTube, I like try to find it there. Right. Like, but I do think like there's too many people that feel like in order to be a man, you have to like watch these things. My thing is like work on your own body, go into the gym, right? Like if you're overweight and you're watching sports, it doesn't make sense to me. Use that time to go improve on something else.
Well, what if you're watching the game in the weight room?
That's fine.
Okay. Just wanted
it's a social activity. So like I'm here for like championship games and they doing something at the crib, networking activity. Pip, you are disrespectful. Did Sinbad just ask if I was a woman? If you take a mirror, aim it at your rectum, you will find she's a troll. What you doing over there, Pip? Stop trolling. All right. Dennis was good.
Well, does that mean?
Huh?
Does that mean that she is or isn't?
Yeah.
It's a she, right?
I don't think you can see the profile pictures. So yes, it's a she. Pip is definitely a lady. I want to say, Pip, how'd you find my channel? I'm sure she was like subscribed to Shira 7 or some shit like that. Like it was like either a Shira 7 or one of them motherfuckers, and then she found my channel. Write that down below. I'm always interested in how the women find my channel. You know what I'm saying? I know how the dudes find my channel. I'm interested in how women find my channel and why stay subscribed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. She's a funny lad. She's a funny lad. I'm not gonna lie. I want Pip to know that we like to do jokes as well. And right. So, maybe it'll be another time that we can duel it out with your Sinbad jokes. That's twice.
That's twice now. That's twice. Right.
Twice.
3 strikes, you're out.
3 strikes, we're going to go in. You can hide behind profile pictures, but, let's go ahead and start shooting out some photos. I'm pretty sure I can give you some thoughts.
Listen, PTR says, how important is a 2-income household nowadays?
It's very important, I think.
Yeah.
I personally think it's very important. I think that at the end of the day, costs are rising, and it's becoming more and more difficult for those who are average. Like you can't take mediocre and look at him surviving in a situation because he doesn't move like the average person. He moves like, oh man, nope, I was about to say something wrong, so I'm not going to go there. But he moves in an extraordinary, whatever the word I'm trying to use. He moves in a manner that is very, very different. Because he saves, he sacrifices, and he appreciates a lot. Versus a lot of other people who want to indulge into a lot of different things that cost money and candidly, like, you know, in order to take care of children, have a house, and all the rest of that, you're going to need that two parent or that two household income for sure.
Yeah, I think it's very important. You know, now there's another topic. So I have a video that's coming up on the channel that talks about like stay-at-home mothers, and I want to say like there was a study that was released that talked about like the break-off point of like when you need to consider being a stay-at-home mother, and that's generally at the point of like I think it was like $55,000 to $60,000 per year. If you're making around that point, then that's generally you have like multiple kids, then being a stay-at-home mother might actually make more sense just because of the daycare costs, childcare costs, what have you. But above that, you know, and the kids are not in the house, like I think it's very important. The power of the dollar today is not what it was 30 years ago, where you can get a job at Ford, have, you know, a mortgage, 2 kids, a wife, and a Cocker Spaniel, right? Like it's not the same anymore. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's more important now than ever that, you know, there's a level of contribution on both sides of the coin, unless like one of the persons, if the dude is making an insurmountable amount of money,
Yeah.
right? Like I still think that there has to be, I feel like there has to be like the work is that a woman might be doing if a stay at home is more from like a nurturing perspective, or, you know, help tie up loose ends in order to make that unity make sense. So, oh shit, Mark B with the 5 USD super chat. I appreciate you. G, he says, "What's good, my G? Just showing some love and happy belated Thanksgiving." Mark, I always appreciate the love and the support, my guy. Happy belated Thanksgiving to you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're getting ready to sign off here in a second. Civil Shaman says, "I watch women's volleyball on mute." Listen, it's no fat November still. Relax, Civil. Okay, relax. Oh, Pip responded, "LOL, I came from Asha C. But it's all love from over here. I like to play devil's advocate. Mediocre." Yeah, you do. Y'all peep that Say No to Single Mothers podcast via Minister Jap. No, I haven't seen that. Say No to Single Mothers. I haven't seen that.
Man, there's a lot of good topics out here.
Yeah, no, we'll save that one for another conversation.
Yeah,
because we gotta wrap this up in a quick second. And tell Christopher Reed from Kid and Play. I'm just joking around. Black Friday got me feeling bold a little bit. Yeah, she bold today. She bold.
Yeah, I think we actually enjoy that. Tell her it's no offense taken. We enjoy a good laugh, you know, as long as you're able to jab, as long as we can spar, right? We love it. Hey, Pip, appreciate you showing love, man, to my guy's channel, Mediocre Tutorials.
Right. I'm gonna venture to say that Pip is she can give it, but she can't take it. That's what you see. That's the mark of a troller. What's up, Tori? What's up, Tori? Hey. Massage by Amaja. I love me some Asha C. How dare y'all? You know what's funny? I think Asha C is from where I'm from. I think she's from Rhode Island, New York. Yes, like why do that to your legacy? I have to admit I subscribe a bit to hypergamy, but from the standpoint of not being with nonsense bums, get with a builder. What if someone gets sick? Yeah, no, I feel you. You know, I feel like, I mean, that's real, you know, and that's the thing is that like, if you can do it, go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? If you can marry up, if you can figure out a situation, go ahead and do it. You know, as long as you keep your integrity and if you're doing it for the right reasons, you know what I'm saying? Because marriage is a business contract, and we do understand that the woman has way more benefits than man in that contract. And what I often see in these YouTube, like these Asha C's and these Shira 7s, is that what they're doing is they're trying to teach you a way to enhance yourself and in a mindset to marry up while staying within your feminine. But the thing is, like, if you go in the comment section, you see, first of all, none of the women that are on their channels are attractive. That's the first thing. Like, if you find content like that, it's typically because you're not like secure within your attractiveness. That's the first thing. Like, you don't need coaching if you're already getting all the upgrades at what you need. That's the first thing. The second thing is when you look into the comments, you like, I see questions like, "Hey, I just met this dude. He makes $80,000 a year. Should I marry him?" What?
What?
Oh my G. Yes.
This is what she's subscribing to?
Yes.
Yo, these YouTube channel makers, I'll say it, I'm gonna keep saying this, are like Hitler. Like you guys are leading these false hopes. These ideas are crazy.
Yeah.
If I met somebody, yo, like right then and there, if somebody came in with that logic, I would feel irresponsible as a person leading a channel where I'm basically like essentially thank you. I'm essentially like supporting or inspiring that type of thought process. Like you're talking about equal rights, equality. Like that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, there can really be no true equal rights if what you're doing is right. Like you just want to be a trophy. You just want to sit at home and just be a loser, right? Like you don't want to contribute to society. Like you don't want to pay taxes. Like you just want to just suck up the air that I breathe. Like I don't respect it. Like I don't respect it. I feel like if your heart is right, if your intentions are right, and you're doing it for the right reasons, but you see a lot of these privileged that looking for sugar daddies. And that's the thing, bro. I've done reactions to some of these women that talk about literally steps to get a sugar daddy. Here's the websites that you have to go on to. Here's what happens on the first date. Here's how you initiate the conversation of paying me for my time. Bro, it's so disgusting. It's gross. It's gross. Like, you know, this talk of, and I see it down in the channel, this talk of level up, but I'm not feeling the sugar daddy crap. Like, no, I feel you. Like it's so it's demoralizing, and you get so many people that will just like follow a person or the perception of a person, because there's no telling how successful that they actually are. Like I watch Sierra 7 videos. I'm like, yo, why the fuck is she doing videos in her bathroom? Like, it doesn't look right. Like there's something else going on there, right? Like what else is going on? The other chick, Asha C. I was looking down at her video. She did a video with her with like a makeup tutorial. Dog, she didn't have no makeup on. God, they don't look good. They don't look good. And trust me, dudes are like, I'm gonna have a whole tutorial about how to. I'm gonna have a whole tutorial. I'm gonna go on my Tinder or my Bumble, and I'm gonna have a whole tutorial about like how do you identify an actually pretty girl. Like I'm gonna do all of that. Like even sometimes in the chat, bro,
somebody's gonna assassinate you. You better cut it out. Now you're going too far.
It's okay. I'm gonna go over how to actually, because dog, with the angles, with the with the filters, bro, the lighting, like, dog, they will trick you. They will trick you. I'm gonna go. I might do a video like that. You guys let me know at mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. I feel like that's gonna be a good topic. More ways to support. I have a Patreon. Feel free to go up there and show love and support as well. I got as low as a $1 one. Right. So like, feel free to go up there and show your boys some support. I'm about to get out of here in a quick second. Oh, $5 super chat. Speeder Web here Productions. I've seen you post before, bro. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really do appreciate the support. Great content, bro, just supporting the growth. But I believe that the lack of those two wise parents is a reason of our poor mating choices. I think that's a strong point. I think that's
very good.
I think it's a strong point. You know, like and I see this too. Like I've met women that don't know how to treat a man.
Ooh.
At all.
Did you just say that?
I did.
Did you say that?
I did.
Did you say that?
I did.
Because that's, are you even allowed to say that right now?
I just said it. I just said it. I just said it.
You can crazy out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get crazy. It was crazy. Like on my Patreon, I'm gonna start uploading videos of like tape situations of that provide data in my life as to how that happened. But Spider Weber, I appreciate the support. Feel free to go back and look at the chat. But I know Sean, I don't want to take too much more of his time. This was a fantastic conversation, bro. We got to do this again, man.
Nah, please, yo, I appreciate being invited. This was dope, man. I tell you, I'm not even going to the mall, man. I'm staying with mediocre tutorials, man. You know what I mean?
Hey,
it's all good.
Listen, bro, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out more connection points where we can make conversations like this happen, especially because the platform is here. You know, the people are here. Like I would suspect over the next like 3 days or so, we'll probably get like 1,000 views. You know what I'm saying? But this is just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just the beginning. We gotta, you know, between the content that I do via live stream and the content that I'm doing taped like beforehand, like I got like 10 to 15 videos in the hopper right now that's ready to go. My Patreon supporters will get those first, but I got videos ready to go with topics as interesting as this one right here. So I appreciate you, bro. We got to figure out how we can do it again in the future. All right.
Absolutely, man.
Anything to say before we get out of here, bro? Any lasting words? Any lasting things?
Hey, man, support my guy, man. Mediocre Tutorials. He's doing his thing. I'm seeing him work hard. I think probably one of the most genuine people you'll meet on the internet at this point. You know, I don't know what will happen if he gets famous, but you know, at the end of the day, like I think you guys should support him. Genuine dude, man. That's my guy, my brother.
I appreciate you, bro. All right, everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys for joining. You better hit that goddamn like button. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Hit that goddamn like button. Bye, Tori. Bye, Mama. Oh, what she side-eyeing me? You taught her that? Who taught her the side-eye? Who taught her the side-eye?
I think that's where it was biologically given.
Oh, shit. That's hilarious. All right, bro. I'm going to holler at you, all right?
All right, one.
All right.